You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
Hello there. Well, first let's do a retest.
This is a retest. Bring in the best.
Coming in hot.
Well, that was long.
Just go ahead. You need to clip that.
And go.
Why'd you laid that one out there a little bit there.
Laid it out.
Like that a lot. Did you hear about this Board Game Snobs? Send us an email, boardgamesnobs@gmail.com. This is Jerry.
This is Gaby.
Did you hear about Tetris getting beat?
I saw that, and I didn't know, with the news these days, I didn't know if that was new or old.
It's brand new. Just happened. When this podcast is released, it will not have just happened, but it happened. And
about a month ago, this happened.
Right. Why is beating up Tetris so important? Because apparently it was never beaten before.
I didn't know there was a bit. So there was a certain level that was like the final level?
Nope.
Okay. How was it beaten? Score-wise?
Nope. It is beaten because with Tetris, and the creator of Tetris actually confirmed it, and I believe it's already been beaten twice since then, because everybody started getting on it. But basically, what are you looking for?
My phone.
You're charging it. Remember, you had to plug it up to charge it. You don't need your phone.
But I had an interesting factoid, but go ahead.
I don't need any of your factoids. That he got to, I think, level 157. And he was playing the original NES Tetris, which is important. So it has very limited capability in terms of its processing. So once it gets to a certain level of the score, it just stops. It kills it. It doesn't say, congratulations, you beat it. It just froze.
Huh.
So that's the official way of beating Tetris, is if you play the game until it dies. So he played it until it dies. He got to level 150, and the score was so high.
Why is he playing original? Who has an original Nintendo?
Well, the original version of Tetris, which is from so you can emulate those. Everybody's playing original Nintendo games on their PCs. You can emulate them using an emulator.
Is that legal?
Technically, it's in the gray area. If you had previously owned the cartridge or something of that nature, they claim it's illegal. But like if you were to just get on and get ROMs for various things that you don't own.
ROMs?
That's what they call them, ROMs. ROM, like CD-ROM, read-only memory.
I don't know about any of that.
Yeah.
I'm not a tech guy.
Well, either way.
The only way I'm a tech guy is in regards to this podcast.
Why are you doing finger quotes?
Because tech guy, you're a certain type. You
edit the podcast.
I edit the podcast,
you couldn't
but
beat
I'm not
Tetris.
a tech guy.
Quit doing those finger quotes.
I can't stop it.
It's irritating me. You're just doing one-handed
air bunnies. That's what they call them.
I don't like air bunnies. That's stupid.
Peter Cottontail ran across there.
But he beat Tetris. That's an amazing thing for someone to have done.
Why? Is it because of the speed factor that it's an increasing speed?
Yeah, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
I have never been a fan of Tetris. I understand what it does. I know that there's many games that we play now based upon it, such as Junk Drawer, a myriad that now Tetris is the big thing in board gaming, basically, with the polyominoes. Tetraminos, whatever. And I get the concept. It's interesting trying to get these pieces. It's a puzzle. It's a jigsaw puzzle. You're trying to get these pieces to fit together. And, but Tetris wise, when I was growing up, I was anti-Tetris. I was pro Mario.
I don't think anybody's anti-Tetris.
You give me Mario, you give me Tetris. Well, what am I going to pick?
No, that's not. I mean, that's the truth for most people, I think. But Tetris, like being anti-Tetris, means you had something against it. I think you misspoke there.
No,
You have anti-Tetris feelings?
I was never pro Tetris.
You didn't like it?
No.
You didn't play it?
No, I played it plenty.
And you just
didn't like it.
You weren't, dun, 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 dun. You didn't like the
Probably
music?
because it was frustrating for me.
It's not.
You're just putting things together, and you're supposed to look, and I guess you had like one move ahead. You could plan.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just didn't speak to me.
That's interesting.
You're moving around these geometric shapes and trying to get complete lines of them together so that they would disappear, and then you could drop down. And yeah, I just know it wasn't something for me. And so in that regard, the games that we play aren't Tetris-like because it's not even nothing to do with Tetris other than the fact you're getting these weird shapes to fit together because they don't disappear. The whole thing with Tetris was if you got this like solid lines across, they would all disappear, dropping it down, enabling you to progress in a good manner.
Sure, all of our listeners play Tetris and like Tetris.
I wasn't a Tetris. I did not like Tetris.
I'm not going to talk bad about you. But I want you to know I'm very much resisting the urge.
I didn't like it. There was nothing about Tetris.
Your way.
I would never in my life boot up a game of Tetris when there were other games available to me.
Okay.
Never. I've never done it. Obviously, I've done it at some point because I have played Tetris. I think I played it just to see what's all the hubbub.
Yeah.
And clearly there's some dopamine hit of, you get these bars to disappear when you get all these connections made. It didn't do it for me. It still progresses today. Tetris is everywhere, obviously. Yeah. We're talking about it right now.
Yeah, you won't stop talking about it. After I've obviously stopped talking about it because I can't speak any further on it, or my disdain for your feelings about Tetris will come out.
And what's your disdain other than it's a puzzle? Like, I don't care I don't like puzzles. If I want to put puzzles together, I would not play board games. I would put together 1,000-piece puzzles. That's what Tetris is.
That Tetris is not a puzzle. It does have that factor in it from it, the things coming down and you having to find exactly where they go. The speed of it makes a big difference because you're having to think ahead and plan ahead and move ahead. And yes, you're arguing this dopamine hit of seeing, this thing, I'll put it here. And then at the same time, are you getting this dopamine hit of its well-planned piece coming in, this will fit perfectly here. You also get the panic of, oh my God, what am I going to do with this thing? I don't know how to make this thing happen. So it's quick decision-making under pressure because the music picks up and the speed of so it's that feeling of success when you are able to quickly drop something and lock it into place. At the same time, it's that panic of, what am I going to do with this thing? I don't want to put this here. I'm going to, that of trying to figure out what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? So yeah, it's you pay a big price for your mistakes in this game. So it's more than just a puzzle and just putting blocks in the space. The speed of which you have to do it, and the spatial intelligence that's required, and quick thinking. I just think there's way more to Tetris.
Well, it's not just quick thinking though, because you have to have that hand-eye coordination of matching your thinking. Like flip, hit that D-pad over to the right fast enough.
Yeah, there's that too. But that's not a primary thing of it. Like you can move really slow with that too. I mean, it's not that you have to be super fast. It's not like Call of Duty
but
type
you
thing.
do have to be fast the longer it progresses. That's the whole point.
But your thinking being fast. Like this kid didn't struggle. Like it wasn't that it got that high. It's the well planned. If you're doing that, you're losing the game. Like if you're depending on your speed.
And I find it interesting that people that always beat these games are children to teens.
He's 13.
Yeah, like tweens.
Yeah, he donked it out of the park.
Actually, he's not a tween. He's right there at a teen.
Good for him.
Congratulations, whoever you are.
I think his name Willis
B. Tetris.
I can't remember.
A game that we have not discussed on this podcast that we played.
I can name a bunch of them.
And we enjoyed.
Really?
It was very quick, very small, somewhat of a bidding game, kind of. Not bidding. Couture. We did not discuss Couture yet on this podcast. I don't think we have. No, I'm not, but I don't think we did. Because we played that like at the end of one of our game days. We just kind of tossed it in there, and we did not go into any great depth on any podcast about Couture.
Now, Couture are the same people, publishers that published the game for which I made a big fuss about, the stock market game, the bear raid game.
Oh,
This is designed by Yasuka Sato, art by Hannah Mergo. I hope I said those names right. If I didn't, this is a game from all play, 2 to 6 players, 20 minutes, 11 years old and up. Typically, it's 10 years old, but these people said no.
no. 10 won't get
I
it.
wonder what happened.
10 won't. There was some
What
10-year-old.
10-year-old?
was like, oh, Mama, I can't handle this. Started crying.
What a punk.
They sent him to his corner. Or like, get in the corner. Did you go to the corner when you were young?
No,
Did you get whoopings?
no.
What was your discipline? Or did you receive discipline?
I was told what to do and I did it.
So you never received discipline?
No. I was raised by an
Interesting.
Army drill sergeant. Not doing what you're told is a complete aberration to me. I have no concept of a child
But is
being
that
told what to do and not doing it.
so that was out of fear, but out of fear of what? Did
Was-
you see what would happen if you did not?
I have no concept of it. It's just you do what you're told.
That is fascinating.
Yes. My father
Because-
would famously say he had never spanked me.
No, when I was growing up, I received many a whooping, whooping, whatever you want to call it.
Maybe you should have done what you were doing. Sorry for making fun of your childhood trauma.
I just, okay, so one.
If there was ever evidence that you should not beat your children, it's this podcast.
I remember,
I'm sorry.
look,
I'm
I
sorry.
was not a rebellious child.
No, you weren't.
I was very much a mama's boy and trying to avoid at all costs the wrath of my father.
The wrath of Khan.
Interesting enough, I am related to a Khan in my family. His name is Khan. Their last name is Khan.
Oh, I thought you like a Khan man.
No.
Or perhaps a Mongolian.
Khan.
He owns a stir-fried beef restaurant.
So
Khan!
I remember clear as day one of the okay, there's 2 times I remember clearly in my life I went against what my father had told me to do.
Mm-hmm.
One, when I was whatever bicycle age that is, when you're riding your when you're riding your BMX around town, probably 12 years old.
Okay.
There was a store that was across the street,
Mm-hmm.
several blocks away. And in that store, there was an arcade game called 1942. I loved playing 1942.
I'm going to look that up real fast.
My thing was a Capcom game. You fly around this B-12 bomber, basically, that would shoot. You would hit that fire button, and it also had a
Yes.
flip button.
There's 1943 Battle of Midway.
No, that wasn't the one. 1942. And when things got tense, there was a flip button, and it would do a barrel, not a barrel roll, but a loop-de-loo, whatever that thing is called when it, what they do in Maverick when they go.
There's just tons of
a loop.
It's 1943.
Nope, not 1943. It's 1942 was a Capcom game. I'm almost assured.
Okay. But there's Capcom 1940. Yeah, 1943 Capcom. They're all 43.
And there's 1942.
Okay.
I would stake my life on this.
Okay. All right. I'm going to keep looking.
So I would go, and I played this game several times. Well, unfortunately, this arcade cabinet was across the road of where my boundary was as a bike riding youth.
1942, there is one.
Thank you.
You can get on Nintendo Switch.
I had a few quarters in my pocket going jing-a-ling-a-lang,
You can also get it on Steam right now. You can get it on the PC.
and I got on my bicycle, my BMX, and I rode across the road that was my boundary. Therefore, I was told not to go there. I slipped those quarters inside that cabinet, and it brought me great pleasure to play 1942 and shoot and loop and barrel roll and all these things, avoiding all those fighters while I was trying to drop bombs.
You said that very weird.
Then I go home, and somehow or another, I believe my brother ratted me out. And he said, Gaby went beyond the boundary that you have set. I received stern, what they call that when you whip somebody, not capital, that's death.
Stern punishment.
It was a punishment for that. As a punishment, they call it.
Corporal?
Anyway, corporal. I received stern corporal punishment.
Well, I always receive sergeant punishment.
and I got whooped on my behind. It was not long after that
You started wetting the bed.
no, I mean, I did that in my early years. But finally they gave up on that, and then they started grounding.
Oh, I got you.
Because, it's like I would rather endure a few moments of pain and be able to hang out with my buddies than grounding. So then they started grounding me.
How does this relate to Couture?
I'm done. Forgot.
Okay, because I literally have no idea.
How did we get there?
You just started talking about your father whipping you.
No, I forgot how we got there.
I just said something about 10-year-old, 11-year-old, and then you were like, my father used to beat me. I'm like, okay. And so I just sat real quiet, let you talk. I was like, okay.
Maybe that's where I got there.
I guess. That's all I remember
I cannot remember.
I know that was it.
Oh, well,
I'm pretty sure I said 11-year-old. Why that 10-year-old?
As soon as you said 11-year-old, I had flashbacks.
You start on in 19. I tried to play.
I tried to play 1942. Got whooped for it.
I can't go across the street. I'm like, okay.
I got whipped.
Okay.
So I went from whippings of all sorts to groundings, and then eventually, I moved out of my home. But you never received any sort of punishment.
No, because I never did. I did what I was told.
I did too.
Well,
Even if I misunderstood.
You just gave an illustration.
That was like, okay, so the other instance was when I was in high school. Now, this is my extreme instance, and of which I'm not proud, nor do I recommend. And because of the end result, it tells you why I don't recommend it. I was never a run around cruising guy. Let's go cruising with the kids in your school.
Okay.
I don't even know if people go cruising anymore.
Can I stop you?
Uh-huh.
If this is the story about you wrecking, there being in a wreck, you have told this story very dramatically previously.
Okay.
And so basically you were in a vehicle with some people, they wrecked.
Shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have had the truck. Shouldn't have been with those people.
Yeah, you nearly died.
Right.
But you didn't nearly die. You remember the glass breaking.
And it got it was like in the newspaper. Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Okay, so like the two times I can remember my brain where I actively went against my parents, I paid tremendously.
Right.
So I remember that discipline. So that's why I wasn't a rebellious kid by any means. Just those two acts.
Those two acts. Those two. So you mean those are the only two times you were punished?
No, I got whooped many other times, but I couldn't tell you why.
Oh, okay.
It was just childish ignorance.
Oh, okay. Well, in Couture.
Let's go back to Couture.
It's like, okay, just get it out. You got it. You aired it out.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you feel better about
Onwards
this?
and upwards.
Do you feel better about this? Because you brought this game about like fashion shows.
Well, that's because I really enjoyed this game.
I did too. It is kind of a bidding game where in your hand you have these cards that are indicative, like New York, Paris, and other places, and you're laying out cards, bidding for cards that have been splayed out on the table, and then you take those cards and you put them in your tableau. It's very mundane, but basically the theme of it is that you're traveling to these various locations and you're modeling for those menus, and then you're adding these various cards from the market to your portfolio. And it's set collection. It's a very odd bidding game. Like, this is not your traditional bidding game. It's a very small box bidding game. And the feel that it gives you is, yes, you see what you want out there. Yes, you have these various cards in your hand that when you splay them out, you're putting this many points to this area and this many points to that area, and whoever has the most points gets those cards. So some people can, of course, outbid you on that. But it's the skill of knowing, I'm going to bid here and get these cards so I can use these cards later to bid type thing. It's a very small box game, very intuitive, very easy to teach. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you first start playing it. Like the first round, everybody's going, what am I doing? This doesn't seem right. And then as soon as you play that first round, you're like, oh, okay, it makes perfect sense. It gave me the same feel that I got in modern art with all the various weird bidding, and I'm buying this and it's not worth anything, but it might be worth something later. And it's the same feeling. If you like modern art, then Couture by All Play Games is a definite must. This is an amazing bidding game with very nice artwork.
It's I don't know that'll go amazing. It's a very interesting game for the small. It's literally like a 5x5 box, and it's nothing but cards. You're just playing cards. I like they do have those little like magazine covers that you win when you get the certain set collection points.
Yeah.
It was I just like it And it reminded me of the whole fashion genre of gaming, which we have this one and one other, which I can't remember. Predaporter.
Which we desperately.
I loved Predaporter when we played it. I just loved it primarily for the fact of it's such a interesting new theme.
We need to do a theme day and play Couture and play Predaporter. Play all our fashion games.
I wish there were more. Is there any more?
Rococo, which we don't know.
I do. I desperately want to play Rococo.
And which we never play it every chance we
Siegel
get.
Griffin is extremely expensive. Extremely
They were
expensive.
supposed to do a remake of that for like computers or something, theming it.
Yeah, I think I know I think I heard that as well. But I genuinely enjoy the fashion
Making dresses.
theme.
I like fashion.
I enjoy fashion. I'm not into fashion. If you see me out on at any BGG con, I'll more than likely be wearing the dad shorts of cargo shorts and a t-shirt.
And a t-shirt. I've
or a
never seen
polo.
you anything else but
That's
a
me.
shirt. And
But I do appreciate a well-dressed person.
I
just don't have the body for it.
I have suits, and of course, I feel like your suit doesn't necessarily have to be tailored, but it needs to be fitted to you. Like just buying a suit off the rack.
Yeah, I have suits too that they're real baggy on me.
Yeah, you don't. I don't like that. I cannot handle wearing a regular shirt. These sizes on them, a lot of people don't understand. If you buy a dress shirt and it just says regular, those are the baggy.
They have to let out my chest and arms.
They're fitted, slim, and all that. You know, you want to get one that's form-fitting, like not tight, but
you don't want them tight and ridiculous looking like the style was there briefly, where all these men are wearing these super tight suits and they look ridiculous.
That's
like if they
ridiculous.
had to break out into a run, they wouldn't be able to make it.
They're the
But
British cut.
yeah, I don't want it dragging the floor, and I want it cinched up in all the right spots, and that's all I ask.
Mhm. That's the same thing. You think that would be a theme, I think, for a board game, like tailoring suits? That'd be a good theme. Don't cut this out of the podcast. We might make us a board game.
I
Tailoring
doubt
suits.
it. Both Couture and Predaporter have to deal with like putting on shows.
These are dresses and shows.
But as far as tailoring, maybe that's Rococo. I don't know.
That's tailoring dresses.
Okay, so it's along that line.
Yeah, it's not necessarily tailoring suits.
So you want to make a strictly tailoring suits board game.
Yeah, that sounds nice. This is copyrighted. Don't
TM,
steal my,
TM in a circle.
Yeah, don't steal my ideas.
And the C in a circle.
Ryan Maxwell messaged me and said we need to make a board game together.
What are you going to make?
I don't know.
A bowling game.
No,
clearly
there is a bowling game already, and I have it.
A board game?
Yeah, it's a solo game. It's nice. It's actually a very good card game where you're utilizing cards in your hand to remove the pins that are stacked just like pins. And you're saying this number removes this pin and all that. And you have to do it like, what's the game? Not solitary, but the cards are stacked. You have to remove this one to get to that one type thing. It was like a Microsoft card game. I cannot remember, but like they're shaped as a pyramid, and you need to remove this card to be able to get to this card.
Huh.
What is the name of that game? Somebody remembers it.
Seven Wonders.
No, not a board game. 7 Wonders.
I don't know.
Why do you?
I just say words.
I know you just say words. You don't think of anything, and you just say that, and that makes me incredibly irritated. This is me swallowing that. This is me going, I say words. This is me not pointing that out and being. I'm glad I am. I'm going to drink the rest of your box wine.
I'm glad you've improved as a person. Another game that wine is not strong enough for you.
That is just fruit juice.
Okay, so at the end of it, you're hating it. When you first drink it, you're like, "Oh, this isn't bad."
I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
When you're angry,
this is awful.
When you're angry,
this was awful. This was awful white wine. And you're getting a lot of white wine right now because this was awful. Go ahead.
My suits don't fit.
Why is my suit? Go ahead.
Velonimo.
Yes. 25th Century Games sent me this game. Thank you, 25th Century Game. Velonimo is based on another game, which leaves me. This is a Bruno Casala game, by the way.
Now, with 52 card deck games, they can be called anything. But when my family played this game, it was called President. But then we changed it to El Presidente. Why? I don't know. But it's what it's forever called in our family.
From Chile.
You had the presidents, you had scum. Whenever you finished the game and you were at the bottom of succeeding, you were the scum, and the president got to take the better cards from you to make their hand better. And then you did the card swap, which takes place in this game as well, but it's built into cards in the game.
But this game has a very neat racing theme.
Well, yeah. This has a theme which is really non-existent.
Well, the theme of it is just so for the artwork, because it is just it's like you're a bicycle race and you're racing up a hill
of animals,
and all the animals are, and it's a children's game, like not family. It's a family level game, and my kids, and by the way, absolutely love this game. Where you have the deck of cards, and the cards are numbered like 1 to 7, I believe, and some of the cards are of no, they're not different colors. They're different types of animals. And so on your turn, you can play either all the cards of the same color or all the cards of the same number. And when you do that, they count as tens instead of just what their face value is. For instance, if I had a green 1, 2, and 3, I could play all those, and though they don't count as 1, 2, and 3, they count as 10 points apiece. And so that's 30 points plus the lowest card. So that's 31 points. Or if I played 3 1s, then that's 30 points plus the lowest card, which is 1. That's 31 points. And that's the number that the next person has to play to beat or pass. And so basically you're just wanting to empty your hand and get rid of all the cards out of your hand. It seems so simple.
So the thing is with the ones we'll get into here in a second, but the thing is with this game is you have to beat the previous amount of points played.
Correct.
So if someone, and I'll get into the difference between this and the 52 card game. In this game, if someone plays a 5, just a 5,
it's just worth 5.
You have to beat that 5. So you can play a 6
or a 7
or a 7 or basically anything above a 5. So then what would that be? Well, let's just say you have 2 1s in your hand. Well, 2 1s, if you play them together at the same time, that is not 2 1s. That is not 2. It is 21 points.
I just explained that. I'm glad you re-explained it.
But I'm explaining it to you in the game format. That way you understand.
Oh, okay.
So those things, they compound into that type of scoring. So now that I've played the 2 1s, that's 21 points on the table. If you have, I don't think it would happen, but I don't know how many cards per number, but it'll say you have 3 2s. So I now have 21 points on the board. You have to beat that. Let's say you have 3 2s. You play those 3 2s. You have now played 32 points. And it's just whoever scores last wins the round.
And takes the cards. And thus, the whole point is that you get rid of all the cards from your hand, and then you score how many points for each player that's still in the game.
And it's interesting because you're going to get stuck with weird random combinations in your hand or single cards that don't go with anything else, and you need to get rid of this card. How do I get rid of this random singled 5 that doesn't match up with any other colors? I can't put it in with 5s. I can't put it in with yellows. It's just by itself. I need to get rid of the single 5.
This card sucks.
So then that's where the strategy of this game comes in. And that's why I love this game.
It was very good.
Because there is strategy, and it's like, do you come out with your power hand now so that you can play a low hand, but that low hand will no doubt enable somebody else to get rid of their garbage.
And there are one-off cards that are very high. There are some random cards in there that are like 40 points or 35 points or 20 points that are filtered into your hand, which is basically your ability to take control and you go first the next round.
Yes.
And that's really what it is that sometimes you have such a sucky hand, everybody's playing high cards and you can't get rid of that lonely 5 that you have. So you have to take the lead. So you have to play this one card to trump everybody so nobody else can beat it.
Come out as hard as you can.
Right. And so that's the name of the game is, do you play high or do you play low? Playing low lets everybody else kind of work their way up. Playing high can stifle everybody, but then again, at the same time, it gives you the lead next time. And so it's interesting. Those are the only decisions that you're making. It's a family weight game. My kids absolutely love this game. They play this game all the time.
In the card game President, where there's President and Scum, the only difference I can remember is that in the President, if you played a single card, everyone else had to play a single card. So if I played a single 3 of clubs, then you had to play a 4 of clubs
Yeah.
or 5 of clubs.
Yeah, it's not the way here.
Or when the things that beat that was like the 2s for some reason were weird, and jokers.
And there is one other card. I think the ones, if they're played in the game, they allow you to steal cards from a player's hand and swap them out.
Yeah, that's the one where you can
take so
swap
many
out
cards
the
and
better for
yeah.
your worst ones.
Which is neat. Which, anyways, this game, I've seen nobody talking about it. It's a simple retheme of an older card game. It works very well. Joffrey has gotten us into playing these very lightweight games.
Yes, and I absolutely have enjoyed the games. I want to play Scout again. The Scout broke my brain, but that was because I was super tired and it was late at night
Scout's
when we
a good
played
game.
Scout at BGG Spring last year. Scout, this game. There's so many of these games that take classic 52 card games from, just regular decks that you've played with your family. And basically they streamline it and they make them better.
What's that game you have that's the card game where it's a co-op and you're fighting, not insecticide, regicide?
Regicide?
What's the game where you're fighting the jacks and then the queens and the kings?
Yeah.
Is it Regicide?
Yeah.
We played that with Natty at BGG. I love that game.
It's a 52 card deck.
I don't know why that thrilled me so much, but for
really
some
good.
reason, you don't have the actual game, do you?
No, because it is a
It's just
52 card
52
deck.
But for some reason, that 52 card deck that's been rethemed
It's
with
the art on
the
that.
art, I was all about that. I should not
that's
have
why
liked that
I
game.
purposely bought the Star Wars decks to
Yeah.
play that with Regicide.
Why? Because they have.
Because it's got Darth Vader on there.
Oh, as he's the
Yeah.
king?
Yeah.
That's cool.
You got Darth Vader, you got Luke, you got Leia.
But it has the instructions in it too on the.
Yeah, but all you need for that is the app. The app will do all the math
Okay.
for you.
I don't
The
want-
app is fantastic
I'm,
for
I,
Regicide.
I'm fighting. I'm trying to get to where I like apps again.
And but Regicide is a co-op game.
I don't like apps at all.
But the app for Regicide is really good.
I don't even order appetizers.
You should.
That makes me. What's the point of an appetizer? That's stupid.
It's actually what do they call that?
It's stupid.
Because an appetizer doesn't increase your appetite. Actually, it kills your appetite for
Yes.
the main meal.
It's stupid. Why are you ordering a
You're
small
ordering food
amount
before
of
your
thing?
food.
Do you want an appetizer?
It's trying to kill your appetite.
You want something
You know
small
why?
and easy to make
You
that
know
is
why?
going to be of lesser quality than the main.
Exactly. So what they do is they give you this cheap meal
Right.
before your actual meal, and then they charge you a buttload for the actual meal that really isn't that expensive because now that you're already full, you're not going to eat the whole thing.
It doesn't matter if you eat the whole thing or not. That's not the point. The point is that they know that people will see these appetizers and they're things that won't fill you up. There's only 3 things that fill you up. It's protein, water, fiber. That's why you can't get filled with chips. And so you order this thing that's just
False.
what?
I get filled up on chips all the
You
time.
cannot. It is biologically biologically
False.
impossible.
I go to a Mexican restaurant. If I eat chips and salsa for 30 minutes, I am full.
You biologically impossible to get on full on anything besides water.
Well, you need to talk to my biology then.
You need to look up what's in chips.
I'm full.
You're not
You
full.
just told me I can't get full on chips and salsa, and I'm telling you,
I didn't say
do
that.
all the time.
I never said that.
What did you say?
I said there's only 3 things that you can get full of.
I remember that phrase.
You can get full on protein, fiber, water.
But then I think you said you can't fill up on chips and salsa.
I didn't say
when
that.
in fact you can.
I did not say that. I'm saying is that the only 3 things that you can get filled up on biologically that will tell your brain you are full: fiber, water, protein. If what you're eating contains water, fiber, or protein, then yes, if you consume mass quantities of that, yes, your brain will eventually say you are full. But you cannot get full on anything but fiber, water, protein. So if you're saying you're getting full on chips and salsa, thus one must conclude that one of those things probably have fiber, water, or protein in it, or it simply is your idea of full because you're so messed up in your sensations. It's probably you just getting sick, which is not being full.
I'm not sick.
Yes, getting sick from eating too much of it.
No, I just eat a bunch of it.
No.
I can eat like 5 baskets of chips and salsa.
Either way.
And like by the time they bring my food out, I'm like, I'm good.
No. The point
I
of
don't need that
appetizer,
taquita.
which appetizers are stupid. Nobody should order appetizers.
Chips and salsa are free at any Mexican
No,
restaurant.
I don't like chips and salsa.
I freaking love chips and salsa. I live off of chips and salsa.
I don't like that. I think it's.
I eat chips and salsa for dinner half the time.
Yes, I know. It's a ploy. There's no such substance, and all it does is just carbs. It's terrible.
Substance.
It's terrible. Yes.
No, yeah, I agree. There's no substance.
Yes, it's an awful
That's not
thing.
even a word.
Yes, substance.
Substance is not a word.
Are you kidding me?
Sustenance is a word.
Substance is what I said.
You're saying substance.
Substance. What did I say? It's spelled substance.
S-U-S. There's no B.
Substance. Substance. A sentence that is part of a larger sentence. Substance. I was late is a substance of I was late because it was snowing.
You're looking at
I'm saying
sub-sentence.
that appetizers are a substance of dinner. They are a sub. There you go.
Okay, I just didn't understand the angle you're approaching.
I know you were saying sustenance,
sustenance,
which I don't like.
You don't like sustenance.
I don't like to use sustenance in a word phrase because it sounds weird.
I love sustenance.
Sustenance. No, you don't.
I love it because
you
like
don't
sus.
like sus. No, you don't like
Sounds sus.
You don't like sustenance.
I like sus and I like tenants.
No, you don't.
The movie? I love the movie. Actually, I don't. I don't care for that movie.
I loved Tenet.
I did not care for
smart.
that movie. Oh, you don't even know what you just watched.
I did. I watched it several times.
That's exactly. Anybody that watches Tenet, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's a very smart movie. I love this movie."
It is.
They cannot tell you what just happened, but it makes them feel smart and recommending it as a movie they like.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
you can tell you. I told you when we walked out of the theater.
It's a presumptuous movie.
No, it is not.
It is
How
most
dare you?
certainly presumptuous.
All right. First off, do you not understand what Tenet was about?
Go forward and backwards all at the same time.
No.
See, here we go.
Oh, my God.
We're not going to discuss this.
No, we're not going to
now.
discuss it because, yes. But I'm just saying, yes, I watched it the first time and understood what was going on. And I was
just anybody that says Tenet was their favorite movie, get over yourself.
Oh, no.
Get over yourself.
I like Fast and the Furious.
I enjoy
that's my
that.
favorite show.
You know, I enjoy those movies.
Let's go to space. Family. I love family.
Sorry, family's important to me.
Yeah, it's not family. If his family was important, he'd quit doing what he's doing.
That's true.
This
he
whole
is toxic.
He's
very toxic.
Fast and Furious is awful. Absolutely.
But it's so highly entertaining to me.
I have not ever been entertained.
Are you not entertained?
The first one in Tokyo Drift entertained me.
Tokyo Drift is really underrated.
Yes, I was entertained by
I like that actor. I don't remember his name.
The guy that's from he's
like from Alabama.
From Alabama.
Wow.
What's going on here, guys? He's got that Daisley. What?
No.
Yes, he does.
No.
He's on NCIS.
I don't know what you're doing.
Yes, he is. He's got that real nasally. He's got the same bowl cut. Listen here, guys. He's got
him.
Mississippi.
He was in Friday Night Lights, the original movie. Starring Billy Bob Thornton.
He's a quarterback.
Excellent movie about Texas football.
I wouldn't call it
Texas high school football.
I did not think it was that
It's
great.
really good.
It's a football movie.
It also stars Explosions in the Sky, I think is the name of the band that plays the electronic guitar music.
It was just a football movie. I did not find
really
it to be
But
that.
you don't like football, so you don't care for
football.
it. No, you don't.
I just watched Barry Sanders. I just watched the Barry Sanders documentary that you haven't watched. I've watched more football.
You're out of your freaking mind. I've been watching the football since.
I've been watching the football.
I've been watching.
Well, listen, how much you've consumed doesn't mean how much you like it. Football,
We're
I
going to
enjoy.
have this discussion.
I enjoy football, but the fact is I don't enjoy any particular team right now because it's all the same stupidity. You see what they did with the Lions and Cowboys? That's the reason I don't watch football. I watched that. I didn't watch that game. And that made me mad.
Okay.
So Friday Night Lights is not the television series, the movie, highly overrated.
It's not highly overrated because it's not that rated.
Yes, it is.
No,
it was
it's
called
not.
the best football movie of all time.
No, that's Necessary Roughness.
No. Friday Night Lights
that's my opinion.
is
I'm
the
just
most
saying.
acclaimed
Starring
football.
Scott Bakula.
Friday Night
Sinbad?
Lights. Friday Night Lights was like called the best.
You don't get what I'm joking, obviously.
You bet.
Necessary Roughness is not a good football movie.
I know it's not a good
just
football
enjoyable, and I enjoyed it back when I was a child with Scott Bakula and Sinbad.
Friday Night Lights.
Then there's the replacement starring Keanu Reeves and the guy that kicks field goals.
Which
It's
is a
also in
great
Notting
movie. It's
Hill.
a great movie.
But yeah, but nobody cares about my knowledge of stuff.
Nobody cares about your knowledge. Friday Night Lights, like legitly, not the television series, the movie. That was like everybody raved about
It's
that.
a good movie. It's a good movie, and don't fool yourself into thinking it's not. Whether or not you think it's highly overrated, I don't know, because everybody.
I didn't say it wasn't a good movie. I said
People
it was overrated.
that think of football movies, you might think of Rudy, you might think of The Program, you
Lucas
might think
Black.
of Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans. Don't even get that movie's so highly historically inaccurate. I love all the characters in that, all the actors in that.
Yeah, historically, it's not right.
Historically, completely made up.
Right.
It's a bunch of bull crap just to make you feel good
But I felt good.
about the racism that exists in the movie.
racism. Did you feel
but
good about the racism in the movie?
No, it's just
That's what you
it's-
just said.
It's all bull crap.
What is?
Everything in Remember the Titans that made you feel good, they made it up for the movie.
Wow. You got
Yes, I didn't.
What about Blindside?
Never seen it, don't want to see it, and now I know that's one big farce as well.
Who says?
It was all a big lie.
Who says?
I don't know, the news.
You.
I don't know, but like everything in that movie has been like debunked.
Really?
Like everything that Sandy B did
It sounds,
to help that poor
sounds
fellow.
like you don't like
it was
fake.
false.
Sounds like you don't like football.
No, I don't like fake news to make you feel good about a story that doesn't exist.
That's like all that you consume is fake news stories.
No, I don't consume fake news stories. I just watch fiction. Just watch fiction. You'll be okay.
That's fake.
Speaking of which, I've been watching Doctor Who.
Go
David Tennant reprising his role as the 10th Doctor and Donna Noble. It's been very nice.
It's not good.
It's been very nice.
It's not good.
I've enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did.
I've enjoyed the Doctor Who special season, whatever.
Please, you're one of the few people. I'm glad you're enjoying
I
it.
enjoyed it. I was glad to see old David back. He's still got it. He's still a handsome fellow. Still looks like, how do these actors, they look the same for 30 years?
Retinol.
I guess so. And it helps to be millionaires and just like your job is to look good.
I guess to a degree.
You can't be an actor and like be not looking good.
I'll say that to Christopher Walken, Steve Buscemi. There's a bunch of not well-looking actors,
That's true.
and yet here they are.
But they're still fit.
No,
Buscemi's thin.
there's just because they're thin doesn't mean they're fit.
Name me one fat actor that's remained fat for a long time and is not dead due to his fatness.
John Goodman, who now
He lost a bunch. He took the surgery.
But
He
listen-
sold out.
but John Goodman, when he was on Roseanne, was winning like best actor.
I know, but guess what? He's alive now, and guess what he's done? He's done the surgery. Now he's skinny. Hey, everybody. Gaby here, chief editor, producer, co-host, and fact checker of the podcast, which I don't do near enough. Apparently, John Goodman, according to a brief Google search, did indeed lose his weight with diet and exercise. Imagine what a crazy way to lose weight. Diet and exercise, the Mediterranean diet, is what he credits much of his weight loss to, and walking the dog. So anyway, there's that. So I was wrong. It happens.
Oh, well, pardon me, Mr. Perfect. I guess I forgot that you never ever make a mistake.
Carry on.
You have
No, my point was,
who's fat and who's
tell me who's fat, has remained fat and relevant, and has still lived a long time.
Okay, well,
Nobody, obviously, because being fat is bad for
yeah,
you.
living a long time, that's the given. You
Like
live fast
Jonah
and
Hill,
hard.
he's been fat, skinny, fat, skinny,
Yeah,
fat, skinny.
good for him.
Nice, presently
John
skinny.
Candy.
John Candy realized being obese was not good for him, lost a bunch of weight, just like Al Roker.
John Candy died.
John. Because he was fat.
Yes, he did. John Candy
John
died.
Goodman
John Goodman.
has lost his weight.
Al
though.
Roker looks weird.
Look, when we lose a bunch of our weight, we look weird
No,
sometimes.
Al Roker he's just on
We
the
look weird.
Okay. Anyways, my point being is that just because they're overweight doesn't preclude them from being an actor. Just because they're
That's
thin.
not what I said.
Because they're thin doesn't mean anything. You're like, who's fit?
I'm talking about
There's tons of actors who are thin, but they aren't fit.
I'm talking about the longevity of you being that way. When you have somebody, Tom Cruise has been fit and thin his whole entire acting career.
Yeah.
And he's looked kind of the same his whole career until recently. He's definitely showing his age because he's almost freaking 60 years old.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't escape
I don't
time for
understand
that
what your
long.
point is. Your point
I don't have one. I'm just talking.
Well, no, I know you're just talking.
I'm just talking
but
about.
I had a point, and then you
David
derailed it.
Tennant was looking good, and he's always looked
I thought
good.
you said you didn't like Tenet.
I love.
I got you. You said you didn't like Tenet. You was like, I don't like it's confusion.
I'm anti-Tenet.
Everybody who says
Tenet.
Everybody who says they like Tenet, they're just presumptuous. No, I don't like it.
I'm pro Tennant, anti-Tenet. Anyway,
Doesn't he spell his name the same way?
no.
Tenet.
You look like a fool.
I don't care about David Tennant.
T-E-A.
He's not irrelevant. He's not relevant anymore till he starts doing something with his acting career. He was doing some good stuff before this Doctor Who stuff popped up. He was in some actually really good shows. And now he's done this thing. He's fallen right back to this. The same thing, Phil, at Patrick Stewart. Need to leave this Picard thing alone. Go about your business. But here they go. They keep falling back into people doing this remakes. And
you know why?
Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones. Don't get me started.
You know why?
Why? Money? Power?
Money. And they want to feel loved.
They're loved. Stop. No, this has nothing to do about them being loved. It's them falling right back into being talked into doing something that they said they wouldn't do again.
It's a weakness on their part because they have proved themselves. They have acted in these roles and then they've moved on.
Yeah.
But then the people say, no, we love you so much in this role. And
nobody said that to Harrison Ford.
And then
absolutely nobody said that to Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones. Nobody was clamoring to have him back at 80-something years old.
Oh, God, no.
Nobody wanted that.
You're correct.
So it's not that. It's not that the fans, don't put this off on the fans. This is something that the contracts and the agents and they're talking people into doing stuff. Han Solo wanted to die in Return of the Jedi. Harrison Ford wanted out.
So what would your motivation be? Besides money.
You're contractually obligated.
No. Harrison Ford was never contractually obligated to come back 50 years later. And
sometimes they will lock you into a contract when you're doing other films and say, hey, we'll do this film, we'll pay you X months, but we'll lock you into this other next movie we call you, you have to show up. That's why a lot of actors end up being in some crazy films.
I understand that. But you're talking about somebody that took a role literally 40 to 50 years after the fact.
I know, but I'm saying is that
he was not contracted into being Indiana Jones again.
I'm just saying is that there are times where that does very well happen.
I think he thought these would be good movies and they were not.
No, he in no way thought those would be good movies. He did not say to himself. He was just doing a thing. A lot of these people just do a thing.
So it's just money.
Not necessarily. No, I'm not even saying it's money. I'm saying they just do.
Bored.
They just do a thing. It's them just showing up to work going, that's my job. I guess go be Han Solo again. He never thought, because they'll phone it in. They'll have these, it's just like the same thing that happened with Edward Norton and the Italian Job. Very famously. He had been in that whatever movie where he was the bad guy with
Project X?
No, that was before that. He was the young guy that was arrested and fooled the gray-headed guy, the guy that's in Officer and Gentleman.
Richard Gere,
that show. Basic Instinct, that's not it. Killer Instinct. It was the show that, it was like Edward Norton's role that he broke out of. Like this was his role.
The Jackal.
He's not in the Jackal. Well, see, again, you just say words and you interrupt me going, I'm just going to say
I just thought I might help you.
No, it has nothing to do with that. But people know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But
Edward Norton, Richard Gere.
It was the... sometimes I wonder.
You don't accuse me when you can't think of it yourself.
No, I'm saying I can't think of the title, but the fact is that you claim to be a movie person.
I was not a Richard Gere, Edward Norton guy. I was a sci-fi guy. Thin Blue Line.
Primal Fear.
All
right. So he did that.
Here, Chip.
It was. Are you joking? Have you never watched that film?
No, not good.
You're just saying that to make me mad. You're just saying that to make me mad.
Never seen it.
You've never seen Primal Fear?
Never seen Primal Fear.
I can't believe that you act like you like movies.
I don't act like anything.
Yes,
I enjoy movies.
You act like you like movies, and then you won't watch like classic movies.
I don't walk around acting like I like movies.
All right, you had a podcast on movies. My point is that Edward Norton was contractually obligated to be in another movie, and they made him be
I understand exactly
And
what
he
you're talking
hated
about.
it.
Just like any Marvel person, they lock them in for like 5 movies.
Right.
I'm saying,
How's that working for you?
You can't tell me Harrison Ford was locked into Indiana Jones 4
He
or 5.
He very well could have been.
No, he wasn't.
Yes. Well, I'm not saying that he was. You're acting like it couldn't possibly be.
No, it's not. But you're talking about a man that has
And you're
reached a point in his life where he doesn't do that anymore.
But you're not listening. The fact is, he could have done another movie, and as part of that deal with this studio, they said, "We're going to put you in this movie. We're going to pay you this amount of money, but you're locked into another movie of our choosing when we choose to have it." And that's how these actors commonly will wind up in stuff that's insane, because the studio calls up and says, "You remember 20 years ago when you did this one movie and we paid you X amount of money and we said you would be in a movie that we want to? Guess what? You're in Aquaman 5. Show up. You're going to cameo in it." And then that's when you have respective actors just show up in crazy stuff. It's like, what was he doing in this? Well, it's because that's what it is. You think Robert De Niro is wanting to be in all this junk?
Yes.
Well, no.
Because he got paid hundreds of millions of dollars.
But no, but once you get so old, do you think that they want to get out of bed, their arthritic bones, and go, I want to go be in this thing?
Patrick Stewart was apparently very upset he was in Madness.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So yeah, stuff like that happens. That's my point, is that it very well, you see all these old actors that are like, why in the world would I'm 80 years old. Why would they have me do another Indiana Jones?
Why would he be Professor X again?
Because he's the good.
Oh, poor Patrick.
Poor Patrick. Yeah. So yeah, that's my point. And the only way you stop that.
But Patrick Stewart does not have the weight Harrison Ford has.
But the only way you stop that is by having people like David Tennant stop doing junk like this. Stop doing this whole remake thing, because that's all it is. It's a remake. Remember when Doctor Who was great?
I mean, I feel like it. I mean, I know he did Broadchurch and several movies and stuff, but sadly, I feel like he needs work.
No.
Working actors need money.
No, he don't need money.
I think he does. If you're these actors, that's what the whole strike was about. They're like, you don't realize how many actors have to keep working for money, how low paid they are. Netflix lowballs all these salaries. They need money. And then they're out there living in California or Hollywood or wherever, and everything costs a buttload.
He made $1 million a year, £1 million a year, playing for 3 years when he did Doctor Who, and he has like a net worth of maybe like $9 million. They're saying, so it's like, yeah, and that's
for me and you, that's a lot of money. For a movie star, that's nothing.
Yeah, but
they'll burn through that in 6 months.
They won't.
Yes.
No, they don't.
That's why they're all broke.
No. You're thinking that way, but no, they don't go out and blow money.
Their houses alone are millions of dollars.
You're assuming he lives in $1 million home?
Bet he does.
I bet they're frugal. They know. If you are an actor, you very well know that this ain't gonna last. 15 minutes of fame. It's what you're going to get out of it. You think that poor guy, what was the guy that we played poker with at BGG, the Mad Men guy? The guy that was fat on Mad Men and then got thin. He had the board game podcast. Do you think he was like cashing those checks thinking this will last forever? No. He did some voice acting, did some video games, and then he has Rich Summer. And then he had a podcast. And he was, by the way, he was a good actor. He's a good actor for what he did. I mean, and for what little bit of acting I've seen.
He doesn't get a whole lot of work.
He doesn't get a whole lot of work because that's the nature of the business.
What a business that is.
But either way, my point being is that he ain't out there blowing his money thinking,
I'm not saying, but okay, yes. But I'm saying.
We need to have Rich Sumner on the show. Bro, does he still have a podcast?
No, he doesn't.
Did he stop?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
I mean, I don't even know he's still acting.
I don't know what he's doing. I'm going to send him an email.
Okay. Let's do it.
I will.
Maybe he'll be our 300th.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome. Have an actor on our show. He was the freaking Mad Men. He was on
we had
another
Jeff
big
Foxworthy.
show on That's true.
Jeff Foxworthy.
That's our touchstone.
That's
we
it.
Have freaking Jeff Foxworthy.
Jeff Foxworthy on our show.
I like to go down to like get her done. Like I feel that'd be a step down. It's only up for us.
Get her done. Get her done.
What's
That's
his
not Jeff
name?
Foxworthy.
No, I know. I'm saying to get Larry the Cable Guy is a step down because Jerry Foxworthy was the man.
Yeah, he was pretty good. And just for reference, Jeff Foxworthy has a net. Holy cow!
He's like worth hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Jeff.
And what did we get?
But what did Jeff do?
A few hundred downloads.
He told some jokes and then hosted a board. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? He's raking it in. Oh, Jeff had it figured out. David Tennant is worth $9 million. And he was Doctor Who. And Jeff Foxworthy told some jokes about rednecks.
But it's all about the business aspect.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
He's
you
like,
gotta invest.
he built an empire based around that
bet
redneck
Jeff
stuff.
Invested in like Bitcoin or something.
That redneck stuff took him to the top. He had calendars, toys, games. I mean,
he's everywhere.
It's just, yeah. Even though he's not necessarily relevant today.
Oh, he's relevant. I guarantee if Jeff Foxworthy walked down the street, I bet more people would recognize him than David Tennant. Because I know that Doctor Who and the nerds and all's a big thing, but your general people, general public, David Tennant probably rock right by you. Jeff Foxworthy.
Okay. When I say relevant, I mean more in the not recognizable area, but as to how the work they're doing right now.
I guarantee you what would save Doctor Who right now if Jeff Foxworthy became the Doctor. Just a Southern American Jeff Foxworthy show up and he's the Doctor and just told like, well, everybody, I guess we ought to know where we're going this time. And all that, he just always wants to travel to the South. All the episodes of Doctor Who take place in Mississippi and Florida and Texas back in, well, we got to go down here. That would be an awesome, there you go, Jeff Foxworthy. He could do it. And all of his companions could be fifth graders. It'd be a callback to a bunch of kids. Like, it could be like the Magic School Bus.
You met your wife in the TARDIS.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go. That would work.
Okay, so my wife has just opened the door to our compound
Matthew
here in
McConaughey could be
BGS
Dr.
Studios and said dinner is ready, so I've got to go eat because I am hungry
Matthew
and I'm full of nothing but boxed wine.
He says I would go back in time. Do you not like my impressions?
I'm trying to end the show.
Okay.
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.